Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm, and I would assume today also HOTS logs. I'm Garrett, he's Kyle, and we're back. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing good.
I'm excited. It's a good week to be a Heroes fan. We got like a weird, impromptu, surprisingly deep look into Diva's upcoming rework, but it was, but it was just through communication from the subreddit and just, a nice little visit from our friendly neighborhood Heroes developers.
I've got my own reason to be excited, Garrett.
Oh?
It's because double sustain is in, and Johanna can't deal with it, so I'm not playing Johanna every game anymore.
I thought it was because you may have to leave the show at the drop of a hat because you could have a baby at any moment.
That could happen. Today's the due date, but they're never on time anyway. You know kids, so whatever, We'll see what happens.
I don't know kids, and you don't know kids until probably a day or two from now.
What I hear is I won't sleep and they'll sneeze in my face. Those are like the two big things that parents want to tell me about.
Well, the no sleep thing, as someone who spends no time around trying to find baby information because I have no plans to have one, the no sleep thing is ingrained in my memory because it seems to be the thing that all new parents shout from Twitter at the top of their lungs.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm stoked for you, dude. So now is probably a good time to remind our listeners that if you haven't been keeping up with our personal lives, Kyle is about to become a father, which means there's a pretty high chance that on an episode of Into the Nexus between the next few weeks, you may not be here. You may be here and have to leave with no warning. We have informed a good friend of the show, not Paradox, that he may have to fill in with less notice than usual. We'd like to give Paradox like a week's notice if we can when we want to have him on. So don't worry, the show will continue at the normal intervals. There just may be a lack of a Kyle for a week.
Now let's talk about the parenting that really matters. Tanking. And it has been so fresh, Garrett. I have loved it. The only thing I can really figure out is that they buffed Vala's health, so everyone started playing Vala again. And then people were like, oh, bows, I like Sylvanas. And then the bow people were like, well, it's great swords. And now Sammy's everywhere. And Alarak's always ban. And maybe people were like, Alarak, he does spell damage. Well, I'm not going to run a spellcaster.
I'm going to stop you right there. No one ever went from, oh, bows, I like swords. No one has ever made that jump, Kyle.
Legolas did. He pulled out they were daggers, right?
Well, Legolas is the
short swords.
Okay, Legolas is the reason I went survival in original vanilla World of Warcraft back in 2005, and which is why it took me more than a year to get to level 40.
That's because it's badass. You're shooting bows, and then you use the one arrow in melee for the eye of the orc, and then you shoot at another dude, and you're like, oh crap, out of arrows, like woo woo, and then you pull out your knives, and oh man. I mean, in 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons, if I may, you got to choose your ranger was either ranged or dual wield, and that's so hot, man.
Oh, it is, but it's also so terrible for leveling in vanilla World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I blame it for, and that's why I'm going to give a lot of pushback, because I don't think a lot of people think, arrows, I love arrows, let's play Sammy. No. Nobody's thinking that, Kyle. You are alone in the world.
It's weird, though, because the spells stopped this week. There's still that random Li Ming, but maybe it's also their fault, too. Why did we suddenly say mages in Diamond and Masters? No thank you anymore. We would like to do double sustain single tank. And for that, I need Stitches, because he can actually heal himself and make the re-engages that my sustains can follow up. Unlike my bursts, who will, I hook something and then they go, what do you want me to do with this? I was lane clearing half a second. They go, I have no spells to help out here. And now this tragically means I have to learn ETC. And that is my hunker down, blanket over the screen, daylight coming through the window, got to work as hard as possible, damn it, grind. I really don't want to. ETC is so ridiculous. But, guitar lessons must flow, and it's time. It's what I need.
You mentioned Li Ming, and I wanted to interject, but I didn't want to, interrupt. I got a compliment on Twitter that I did not deserve, sir. I can't find the tweet right now, but a lovely fan of Into the Nexus tweeted at me, said, "Oh my God, Garrett, your Li Ming build just carried my butt in the platinum. Thank you so much." And I would just like to, I pointed out on Twitter, but I would also like to point out that was all Kyle. One day Kyle sent me a text like, "Dude, you need to try out this Li Ming build, and we totally need to talk about it on Into the Nexus." And you were right. I mean, it was so damn cool. And I'm stoked to hear that it graduated someone to a whole new league.
But what did that Li Ming build do? It turned her from burst into more of a sustained auto attacker, and now has gone the ways of the Wizards. And I don't know where they are right now. Jaina's still doing okay, but you got to get to that level 7 sort of reset machine gunny sort of business. So things are changing, which is awesome, and balance has influenced that. Also, there's that Kel'Thuzad thing going on right now, and no one's really sure if it's completely busted or just a waste of time. I haven't seen any Kel'Thuzads in my own games.
Yeah, we hit one last week during the Patron Bonanza that was rather noteworthy because it kept coming in. It was problematic for sure. I really think it's a case of feels bad versus is bad. That's my hot take. That's my cold take on the Kel'Thuzad situation.
Nice, I see.
Yeah, I bet you saw. I know you saw. Because once you get used to it, you know, you can. It's the opposite of Li Ming. If Li Ming bothers me because I have to work 10 times harder on Li Ming to have the same effect as I do on basically any other damage dealing healer or hero, playing against Kel'Thuzad is annoying because I have to dance 10 times more hard than I would in most other scenarios.
Yeah.
Because you get it. Like the first time you see it, you now know how you have to adjust to not let Kel'Thuzad get insane value. But it's annoying and it's a lot of work. And now it's okay with Li Ming because I'm signing up to that. You know, Li Ming's a lot of work. Ugh. It's a shame. But you know what? I'm opting into that when I pick the Li Ming. But when someone else picks Kel'Thuzad on the opposing team, I am now being opted into spam emails in the form of constantly resetting heroic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of that old Kael'thas problem of this is more tiresome to deal with than an enemy hero who might actually be more effective.
Yes, absolutely. Totally. So I don't know. We're going to talk more about it later when we get into dev comments, but I'm with you. I get it. I understand why we're talking about it. And hey, we're getting developer comments about it like right now. That's 2 years faster than the Hearthstone team in regards to Barnes and Wild. So
yeah.
And you know, they were kind of right. Like no one's really playing Barnes anymore, but they still went and like nerfed him. So it's Blizzard be weird, man.
Each team has its own personality, and that's cool to see. And Hero's personality is really being run by, you know, a couple of our main faces right now on the Reddit. We got Daybringer over there. KO shows up every once in a while. Mmr has been representing, like showing up in every art one, just throwing out his ideas, letting us know the inside thoughts of the team. I really like his recent inclusion and thoughts that he's putting into the Reddit.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like it has to happen, right? Because I mean, some of the more forward-facing developers are no longer on the team or even with the company anymore. And we're going to talk about another one leaving today. It's sad news, but I'm glad, like you said, I'm glad to see Mmr stepping up.
Yeah,
we you know, it's going to happen. Just like when KO took over the position of lead, like it was weird for us. You know, I still miss my Dustin Browder, but it's all right. It's all right.
I want to know what's going on there. Still
with Browder?
Please, Dustin Browder.
I think Dustin Browder is shaking his fist angrily at Overwatch 2 while the burning husk of an amazing sounding StarCraft game smolders in the corner.
Well, not only that, but yeah, I'm shaking my fist a little bit today because I'm waiting around for a certain thing called Warcraft 3 Reforged, and I'm learning that the Switch is getting a port of Overwatch. So what the heck is going on here?
Dude, if we could have a little, like, around the Blizzard sidebar for a moment. I don't want that game anymore. Classic is here. I wanted that game before Classic so I could play Warcraft 3 and new, beautiful, shining graphics, remind myself of how good that story is, leave off at the cliffhanger of Arthas becoming the actual Lich King, and then open the gates to World of Warcraft Classic. And instead, they're just like, here's the gates of World of Warcraft Classic. Warcraft 3 and Forge, we don't know what you're talking about.
What is that? Nobody knows.
I'm not excited for it anymore. I was really excited for it.
Yeah, I agree. It was the lead up. Like, oh man, I remember being like level 13 and going through the entire Plaguelands. Horrible idea. But I had to see it.
You had to.
I had to see it.
You couldn't wait. You couldn't. Yeah. That was the reason I started playing World of Warcraft. I started because I wanted to see the end of Arthas' story. I had to wait years to get there in WoW, but it was worth it. And my playtime dropped off dramatically after Lich King.
Listen, I get that times have moved on. You know, maybe battle royales are the new MOBAs. MOBAs were the new RTSs. But damn it, there is a group of people such as ourselves who just want some RTSs. They're really nice. And you blew my mind with what you did with Legacy of the Void. Like that one where you move the base to the minerals on like a conveyor belt. Like, holy heck. I thought the future was bright. And here we are, 2019. They are billions is like what I have right now.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I don't think we're ever going to get another Blizzard RTS.
Yeah.
I think
I'll hold out hope.
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. But anyways, there's quite a bit of Heroes things to discuss this week. So let's get right into it with this week's Heroes of the Storm / HOTS Logs News.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
The moment is upon us.
Yes, I'd mana tap that.
HOTS Logs is under new management, and it's us. I took delivery of a website last week, Kyle.
You did.
I was really hoping we would get to announce it on last week's show, but couldn't clear it with Fanbyte in time. So immediately following the live recording of last week's Into the Nexus, news broke that a new home for HOTS Logs has been found, and that home is here. Kind of crazy. Not something I ever saw happening. Haven't taken over a website before, but I have. We have a developer. His name is Daryl. You will probably see him in the live chat from time to time under Twitch username Daryl, I believe, _Roman. Great guy, friend of mine for a while now. Kind of a serendipitous, beautiful thing happened where I found out that they were looking for a new home for HOTS Logs. Found out the coding language that HOTS Logs was written in. It was kind of an obscure one. I'm looking around. People may remember I put out a tweet a few months ago saying, "Hey, does anybody know C#.net? And do you like heroes? I'd like to find someone who is the Venn in this Venn diagram." I really had a hard time finding anyone. And then I talked to my buddy Daryl, who I knew did a lot of coding, and I was like, "Hey, man, by any chance, do you know this obscure language?" And he goes, "Oh, I only work in it literally every day." And I'm like, "Oh, wonderful. Cool. Let's do this." And I know your opinion may vary on whether C#.net is obscure or not, but most people I talk to in regards to it and its application to websites was like, don't know about it being used for a website. That was my understanding. I'm not here to say it is definitively an obscure code or not. But anyway, that's what's going on. We have it now. There is an official update. If you go to HOTS Logs right now, it's up because you will notice that the site is currently not working. And that is because due to the transition of the website, we don't currently have any data flowing. Without getting into specific details, the transition means we currently don't have data. And a lot of the work being done right now is to just open those lanes back up, get that data flowing back through the website. And once that happens, you should see most of, if not all, of the previous workings of HOTS Logs come back online.
I think it's sane to assume that those who are also sane and thinking about this project knew that there were some things to fix. And we're very excited to be working on those. And those things that need fixing might require actual data to be communicating with the site.
Yes. Yeah. If you're like me and the Talent Zero bug was really bumming you out, that is at the tip top of our to fix list. But we're still working on getting the data flowing now that the entire website is in a different location, and that requires dealing with parties that are not us. So it's going to take some time.
That's really, I'm really excited about this. I think it's awesome that the site that we have talked about for years is now being taken under the umbrella, is being embraced in a warm, strong, but gentle hug by Into the Nexus.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm stoked. I mean, yeah, you can, there's some Reddit comments that are just like, let it die. And that's fine. You can fire that at me all day because I refuse. I will not let it die. I'm too much of a fan, man. You can go back years ago on this episode where you came on the show and you're like, there's this new website called HOTS. And I think my knee-jerk reaction was, that is the worst name in the history of poorly named websites. I hate it. I refuse. Oh, this is a really good website. I'm going to now base the majority of conversations on this very podcast on statistics from that website. We've had a long journey with HOTS here on Into the Nexus, and we didn't want it to go away. So we're doing what we can to save it.
It's also been a great resource in the show, as well as my own lessons that I've taught for years now. And I am very excited to see it return when it's good and ready. Is there anything you can tell us about the future as it is right now, and anything people can do to kind of help that ball keep rolling?
I mean, really the big thing is, and like, I know it's like, it's absurd and it sounds like such PR speak, but patience is important. Because although the main skeleton of the website is now in our possession, we have successfully transferred it to a new hosting platform. The data itself is that there's still work to be done there to get it from a third party. That's not in our control. So that's kind of the thing we're waiting on right now. That's why the site isn't back up and running. And so the best thing everyone can do right now is just understand that we're working as hard as we can and as fast as we can without trying to make more mistakes instead of fixing the existing bugs.
A good goal.
Thanks.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
You know, I do feel though that I feel a kinship with the Heroes developers, having now a thread at the top of Reddit full of some rather trolly comments, like things let it die, much like people have said about this fine game. So, you know, you all kind of prepared us for this moment, and I feel stronger staring down the face of those angry folk.
It popped in my head as a funny thing, so I said it. I don't want to like spotlight the naysayers, because honestly, that Reddit thread is full of a lot of earnest love and excitement about us taking on this project. And so to everyone who have gone out of their ways to comment, offer help, offer words of encouragement, or just to say you're stoked, it means a lot. So thank you a lot. The fact that I was involved in anything on Reddit that got that many, that's the most upvotes I've ever gotten on anything on Reddit in my now decade-long career making Blizzard podcasts. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, folks. Like, clearly, I read each and every comment on there, and some were meaner than others. But overall, I looked at that. You know, at the end of the day, I was like, "Wow, that was a surprisingly positive experience on Reddit." And thank you very much to everybody who kind of helped fill up the gas tank, because it's been a long week. It's been a long week. So, anyways, that's all I can really say for now. Anything else would be extremely technical. And I honestly wouldn't be the person that should relay that information.
Sure. Well, can future updates to come?
Yeah, definitely. I will have updates when there are updates to give.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm not just going to like go dark, but there may be stints between communication. So just expect that. But I'm stoked. I'm really excited. I can't believe it worked out. I think it's really cool that the Zam/Fanbyte worked with us on this. It's really cool. So more updates to come, and I'll let you know when we get there. But
yeah, I mean, if we had been able to announce this last week, it would be all fireworks and celebration. And we pulled it off, guys. Really looking forward for Into the Nexus bringing you HOTS logs. But now we are a week into it, and the technical work is being done. So if we seem a little shell-shocked, it's because it's all real and it's being fixed up. I'm really excited about it, but it's real.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So, anyways, more on that to come. Head on over to hotslogs.com or to the Heroes subreddit to see my post in full. It's the exact same message in both places, so you can go to either place and check it out. Anyways, on to Heroes of the Storm itself. Speaking of the Heroes subreddit, there's been a lot of communication from the developers this week through that very location. And we're going to start today with High Mmr Woes, a high elo, a highly placed EU player going by the name Bomba on Reddit posted to r/Heroes of the Storm saying that the majority of their games are at max 15-second queues and then getting dumped into a game with 2 to 4 diamond players. This was followed by multiple replies citing similar issues across all regions. So outside of the EU, people from the NA servers and such all kind of saying, yeah, this is happening to us as well. And Heroes developer Daybringer, who seems to just be like the workhorse of Reddit replies over on the Heroes team, got in there and said, essentially, thank you for letting us know about this. Quote, if these disparities are correct, there is no reason the matchmaker should be creating games like this in that amount of time. I will have some engineers look into it. And we haven't heard anything else since, but there, as previously mentioned, there seems to be a lot of high-ranking Heroes of the Storm players in this thread experiencing the exact same issue.
All right. It's true. It's fun and flattering, but it's very true. Under 2 minutes, Diamonds, Masters, and Grandmasters are getting games. And it's fabulous. I'm currently coaching Kristen in Gold 3, the top of the bell curve. And she's at 5-6 minute queues. Why? I do not know. It then makes us a game with all those various players of that same kind of bracket. We see everything gold at Gold 3. Things don't get too weird. But it takes a long queue. So why are the queues for Grandmasters going so fast? It's because their streamers did somebody sneakily on the Heroes team say, well, streamers need fast queues in order to keep this game alive and keep Reddit happy. We will make their queues short by allowing all sorts of diamonds to come into their game. I had a game yesterday versus Grandmaster 60 on Sylvanas. She was a force. She was extremely deadly. And her shot calling won them the game. Not the team fights, because there was lower league people tanking and doing the other roles, but her ability to say, that objective is lost, I'm going to go push a lane, kept them in that game and got them forward in that game. It's something that I'm dealing with on tank.
If you were fighting against the Sylvanas, how did you know she was shot calling?
I don't. That is true. But the willingness of the team to, first of all, she's Sylvanas, and they did that all one lane thing, destroy all our towers in one lane thing when the game started. So you kind of go, all right, Sylvanas might be doing some shot calling over there, first of all. It's usually a Sylvanas or like Zarya called for it thing. And then later on, we were winning the objectives. We had really good team fight. We had better objective on Infernal Shrines. And the second one person would die, that whole team would bail and start trying to take our forts and our keeps and other lanes and keep us away from the objective. So there's no telling if that had a effect, but on our side of things, we didn't get a Grandmaster. And so we're sitting there going, oh, well, where's our Grandmaster? Why aren't we evened out in this situation? We lost. I got 185 points taken off, so I got 15 back for losing number 60. It's something I'm really struggling with right now in the ramp up, because I am seesawing between Diamond 3 and Diamond 2, and I need to learn to tank for recent Platinum graduates and Grandmasters, and I'm too fast for the recent Plat graduates, and I'm too slow for the Grandmasters. So they do need their own space. They're doing different, weird other rotations and things that I am not prepared for. You fall behind in a double rotate, you just lost the game against Grandmasters because they go faster than you, which means they then have time to gank bottom. So they need their own space. And other personalities and Twitch streamers are calling out that this needs to be fixed. Now that I've said all that, I'm going to respond to a tweet that was put out of an image of Grandmasters. And Mr. Garrosh here has decided to team up with his diamond buddy from Plat. Well, what do you expect the matchmaker to do? I've seen images like this where there are 2 Grandmasters, 1 Master, and 1 Plat. Well, of course you got a low diamond game. That's how the system works right now. So we break the system sometimes. We're the ones causing this issue and then begging them to fix it. So is the real answer just stop letting Masters team up with anybody? Is the divide too big? Down to Diamond 5? Do we need to make that Diamond 2? Do we need to make that Diamond 1? And say that only they can team up together?
Let's put a big impossible to miss message that says, I see, have it literally Clippy pop up and say, I see you've grouped with someone in a lower league. Please note that this is going to F with your matchmaking.
Maybe, but you're not the one who's going to be affected by that as much as maybe the other team is. Hey, these are all pretty confident people. It's worth throwing out there.
I mean, the example you've thrown in here has extremely high-level players on both sides.
It does.
The game is clearly making an effort. Now, do both sides have numbered players? No, but one side has a Masters player and a numbered player.
So does a Grandmaster plus Diamond 5s equal a team of Diamond 3s, Diamond 2s? And that's where things start getting a little muddy. And much like we talked about with Bronze, do we need to perhaps have another league? Is there something in between Masters and Diamond that needs to happen? Or do we just need to say that Masters can only be with Diamonds and then everyone else can have that 2-league gap that they can cover because it's just not as insane at that point?
I don't know. I think it's fine as long as there's not a bug happening with solo queuing.
Sure.
I think that we should have an understanding that we're going to manipulate or throw a bit of a monkey wrench into the situation when grouping across divides like this. But who knows? I have a feeling we're going to be hearing about this very issue very soon from the team.
And clearly the matchmaker on Blizzard's side isn't thinking hard enough to make these decisions. A 15-second queue and then putting this game together may not be a range we want to accept. And if we put that at a expanded search of 2 minutes even, we might have a healthier world and more Grandmasters come together. A lot of the responses of the Grandmaster community is, I know all these Grandmasters because we're all, 200 of us, often play at the same time, team up together, play in leagues together. I know they're playing right now in queuing. Why did you divide us up? Why did you make that call? What about the system is doing that? For my own sanity and my own improvement, I'm adding on top of this another layer. I'm saying, Blizzard, I'd like for you to help me ramp up into Masters, because right now Diamond 2 versus Grandmasters is beyond my skill level, and that's great. Like, I learned a lot, but then I'm thrown in the next game with Plats. I can't then carry those lessons. We need to make all the leagues a little tighter up at top so I can improve with my league, rather than maybe going on a mad winning spree next week and then suddenly be in Masters and I don't know. I'm not going to play Tychus, by the way. A complete side note, but oh, dude, I'm so sad. That Tychus thing was okay. Just okay. It wasn't great.
Oh, the update from last week?
Yeah, man, I can't 1v1 Sylvanas, and it just, like Sylvanas like, boop, 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 goodbye tanks, then boop, boop, goodbye Tychus, and I'm like, one of those was my job, first of all. At the very least, I should kick your butt now, Sylvanas, and then she wins, and
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, I'm sad.
No, but losing 1v1s is never fun. And she has such a longer range. It feels like Tychus should win, because
I know, right? If she goes in my range, I should win.
I feel like if you actually, if you're actually landing hits,
Complete side note, has nothing to do with this. I didn't
discussion for another day. Discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're more or less at the end of this conversation. There's nothing else. There was no follow up by Daybringer or any other developers, and we haven't seen an update on the forums or a patch or anything of that nature. So this is the end of the story. We have links if you would like to go read for yourself. Let's get into some more blue posts though, because we talked a little bit. We flirted with Kel'Thuzad at the top of the show, and it's been a big conversation, so much so that it came to a head in a Reddit thread that saw yet another Daybringer interjection, talking about the new the title of this Reddit thread in question by Reddit user Mmr is called "New KTZ Level 20 is Hilarious." Got a lot of play. A lot of upvotes, sitting at 300 at this exact moment. This was 3 days ago, and Daybringer got in there and responded saying that they've been reading a lot of feedback about the what Daybringer referred to as newly created synergies of Shadow Fisher. Quote, "When these changes were proposed, we were a bit hesitant as we knew there were going to be moments of complete and utter chaos, but did not anticipate the frequency." Daybringer went on to say that he will be meeting with the designers this morning to see how they want to proceed. They think that these kind of moments are epic and fun, but they also don't want them to feel oppressive or awful for your opponents. So it sounds like they're coming for our Kel'Thuzad, Kyle.
First of all, I know that Blizzard is human. I've been in those offices. They're just like any other offices. They just have more video game posters and, toys.
A lot more tchotchkes. So many more tchotchkes.
But I'd like to imagine that it's a bit more Minority Report. And they receive the GIF and it comes flying into the morning meeting and they're like, oh, wait, woo, with the little finger and then the hand sign. And they're, wait, Shadow Fisher, go back. Wait, go, oh my God, that's overpowered. Do something. And then the ball gets carved and it's a unique ball only for that bug and it rolls down to balance. This looks insane. I think that the funny thing about this particular GIF, because it is a Towers of Doom top camp being taken, and the enemy team will not get off the pad. And at level 20, there are now multiple sets of Shadow Fisher going off over and over again. You could give that camp. Is that easy to deduce? Is it fun? I think is always the question I come back to. For that team to say, I understand what his level 20 power is, we can give this and just walk away. But instead, we go, we need a camp. It's level 20. I need that camp. And they all stood in the pile of poo and died tragically for it.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, is a camp post 20 that important? I mean, it is if it's a boss. No. If it's a boss, it is.
If they happen to, okay, can we watch it right now? Actually, I think I can. So if they happen to miss their top towers and it would deliver a killing blow, it would not win the game if it went all the way down the lane. So no, it is not going to win the game here.
I'm not talking about one specific example. I'm saying in the universe of It Depends that there's many cases where a boss would lose you the game.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I mean,
sometimes it's worth fighting for.
Yes. But I stand by my thoughts. I still think it's more of a feels bad than it is bad, but we'll see what it sure as hell sounds like it's gonna get nipped.
Right. I think the problem doesn't come in with the ability so much. It's because we have weird stuff on Kael'thas that doesn't feel good, but Greymane can go get him. The problem here is that Kel'Thuzad is in the core, in the fountain, in the Hall of Storms. Not anywhere he can be interacted with at all. Can't be countered by anything on the field. And even a spell shield would only reduce the damage and still cause the reset in the second fire. The counterplay doesn't exist.
Yeah, no. In that way, yeah, it probably should be addressed.
But that's really cool.
I was kind of hoping it wasn't gonna be nerfed because again, I still just want Calamity to bring wave clear. I'm just like,
sure.
Well, if Kel'Thuzad, a hero that is really kept in check by his skill floor because of how important it is to land his combo, can get such a a powerful heroic synergy, maybe Maybe we can take a little bit of the burden off of Li Ming, but that's me projecting.
And it's odd because everything up to that point in the game can lead to a victory. Not that we would want to rework the game to make Kel'Thuzad function, but if he wins one team fight, at the current state of late game buildings, they can, by the time you're all dead, run to core and end the game. The game should end around 20. That's why these abilities are so crazy. But it's really, really feels bad when you've done so much all game and then one team fight is what causes everything to fall apart.
I mean, there's a balancing act for level 20 talents. Like, yes, they should be crazy. They're level 20, but there's obviously a bridge too far.
I lost a game this week because of level 20. What's the Fury talent on Sonya?
Oh my god, dude,
level 10.
I'm the worst. A level 10 Berserker.
Yes, yeah, her rage thing.
Berserker Rage.
It's not called that, right? Is it Berserker Rage?
It's got to be Berserker Rage, isn't it? A Wrath of the Berserker. My bad.
Wrath of Berserker. Yes. I full blown lost a game this week because of her level 20 augment that gave her 2 seconds of unstoppable. And that's really cool. That one choice would cause my Ario whip to whiff, the CCs my friends cast to miss, and she took us all out. Striding Giant. What the heck? Okay, Wrath of Berserker becomes Striding Giant at level 20. The reason you never heard of it is because there's also Ignore Pain on that level. And I didn't even know Striding Giant gave 2 seconds of unstoppable on a 30-second cooldown.
I'm sorry. I got to stop you right there. You haven't heard of it because of Composite Spear is also on that level.
Right. Maybe Ariak Crater you've seen before because it's memey and it's delicious.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't be seeing that.
It does happen, though. You know, you got the washing machine.
I know it happens,
the old
but
Chen.
I don't know why it would.
I mean, you're also doing barrel there, so you're basically saying, let's have 2 chances to lose.
I'm being opinionated, Kyle.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You're the Sonya player around here, not me.
Ariat Crater can get out of here. Composite Spear is so much better.
I still kind of wish that Sonya had the illusions, because that's my favorite ability. Like the Super Saiyan-y illusions from Diablo 3.
Oh, where you bring it? Is it illusions? You're calling on your ancestors.
It might be insulting to call your ancestors illusions, but ghosts.
Yeah, that is cool, but
okay.
That would really eat some Samuro lunch.
Yeah,
I mean, Sammy already has a big spinny area effect, which is already eating some Sonya lunch. If Sonya starts eating like illusion lunch, we're really mixing.
And then they're all spinning at the same time.
We are mixing hero metaphors here, Kyle.
That's fair. I mean, people are stepping on each other's toes all the time, but okay, I feel you.
Yeah. I wouldn't say no to it, by the way. It's probably going too far into Sammy territory. Yes, Rathusk in the chat room. I cannot fight you on that. The wrestling skin for Ariat Crater is incredible.
Yeah, the cage.
Yeah, cage match. I wish she got an Undertaker skin.
I wish she had a knockback and we could electrify that cage and hit people into it.
Ooh. But then Ariat Crater would need to come online sooner so that you could augment it with a talent further down the line.
Yeah, it'd be like Maiev too. So maybe Maiev needs a wrestling skin.
I mean, how long does Ariat Crater last? Because we're going to talk about a lot of bacons here in a second. It lasts 5 seconds. Kyle,
it's pretty long.
Would it be terrible if we baked in Crater at level 10 if you take leap, but like it only lasted for 2 seconds? I mean, it's a stun. It's very powerful because it's a stun. But would it be too OP? Probably, but I'd like to dream.
Well, all right, hang on. So what we need to do is compare it to Hammer's pushback wall, which is at least semi around that level.
I mean, it's very different in its application, though, because Leap is a straight-up engage.
So Barricade is a level 4 talent that causes an impassable wall to spawn in front of Hammer for 4 seconds. Has a 41% win rate.
Yeah.
It's also up against like Siege Tactics, which is the unstoppable, and then Regenerative Biosteel, which is the 10% life steal.
I appreciate you trying to fuel my insanity here, but if Hammer could also jump in front of a character before putting that wall in place, that would be very powerful.
Garrosh, you could chuck your hammer.
You could. I mean, that takes 2 people.
Yeah,
it's a really high.
True.
We're in magical Christmas land now.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, hammers?
I'm just saying, Diva is getting some cold junk baked in. Maybe we could get a 1 or 2 second. Well, it would have to be, because how long does the stun last? It's a 1.5 second stun. So if the crater lasts any shorter, so like a 2 second crater on a 1.25 second stun, that's only 3/4 of a second where the crater is even a concern. Unless you were talking about granting unstoppable and cleanses and stuff like that. It's interesting. I don't know.
I think you could take it and say if Crater or if Leap here hits 3 heroes, maybe you get a Crater.
Oh, that's
like you hit 1 hero, you get a pick, stun, and then you pursue. You hit 2, and
Kyle, if you're hitting 3 heroes with 1 leap, you are being rewarded enough.
Maybe not
I feel like you're doing enough at that point.
Okay. I mean, outside of giving it a quest, which is very 2016 of us, that's where I can see.
If anything, I would code it where if you hit any less than 3, you get the crater. If you hit 3, you're not getting the crater. Sorry,
okay, that's cool
you're
too.
too good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. The Diva stuff, which we haven't even talked about yet, has got my brain spinning with possible things. Anyways, let's move on from Kel'Thuzad. Let's talk about that Diva rework, because this was another really popular thread from the previous week. Reddit user Morphe, there's a bunch of L's, listed 3 specific things that they were really hoping would be addressed in Diva's upcoming rework, this teased rework. And Heroes developer D. Warner responded with a surprisingly deep preview of what Diva players can expect from the upcoming rework. And so in this, D. Warner said, quote, "I'm glad you brought up your 3 subjects, as all of them were things that we explored and experimented with during our iteration phase. And a surprising amount of them, it sounds like, are going to see the light of day. The first of which that was written by user Morphle. Hope Diva can keep some of her fun mech reset talents, especially her big shot upgrade, Pew 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 at 20. And D. Warner went really deep into this and said that, just to remind you, it was previously mentioned that Diva would indeed be getting Big Shot as a baseline. I didn't remember this, so I'm glad D. Warner reminded us.
It was a minor note, but there is a whole new, and I believe it's going to be the mini missiles heroic heading her way, as it is in Overwatch right now.
Ooh, very cool. If you're unfamiliar, this is a heroic that allows her to fire a skill shot in a straight line that reduces the cooldown of call mech for each enemy hero hit.
Poop. Okay, damn it. Double statements. I had no idea about that big shot. Darn.
Wait, what now?
I mean, I don't fight Diva often, but you know how many times as tank I've just walked in a straight line towards her and been like, haha, Johanna shields, you can't. And she's shooting me and getting a reduced cooldown. I had no idea.
You just now realized that?
I thought it was just damage, because it does do some decent damage.
It does.
You know?
It doesn't. It starts at, I think, 250. I think at level 10, it starts at 250. Hey, man, we all learn new things. It's all right.
Well, that's mine for the day.
It's all right. Anyways, so this is a heroic. They're turning it into part of Diva's core kit, which means they're going to have to tweak the overall power. But the upside to this is that it opens up the world for new talents, because you have this cooked into the hero from the start of the game. Now you have all these talents between 1 and 20, all these talent levels that you can play with and probably augment the skill. So as it stands now, the new baseline Big Shot will have a slightly longer cooldown. It's also going to do less damage, and it's going to give less of a cooldown reduction to call mech than it currently does as a level 10 heroic. D. Warner was quick to point out, however, that it also is receiving an added short duration slow as part of its effect. So there's something in the buff column on top of the fact that this is just baseline, and that's such a huge buff that whatever nerfs do come in are probably going to be worth it. As for the Pew 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 talent, it is unchanged. However, it's being moved all the way up to level 13. So Pew Pew Pew, if you're unfamiliar, is currently a level 20 augment to the Big Shot Heroic that reads, instead of a single shot, Big Shot fires 3 shots over half-second intervals. Each shot deals 50% damage. So you get this kind of slow burst fire on your Big Shot. Now you're going to be able to get that at level 13, and they haven't messed with it other than that. They've just put it at level 13. You now can have a level 20 talent at level 13.
That's really weird. Level 13 is currently her survivability level, a forced pick into some sort of mech-based shielding.
Yeah, D. Warner referred to it as a build-agnostic utility tier.
Okay, all right.
But now Pew 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 is going there, which you could argue is this is still a bit of a utility because you're saying, oh, I want this I want to morph the way that this ability works. But I'm really mincing words here. I wouldn't call this utility. So the 13 is getting a little more interesting. Yeah. A new Big Shot talent was added in its place at level 20. Didn't figure out what it's going to be. And then D. Warner also mentioned that Nuclear Option, which is currently a level 7 E talent, has been completely redesigned and is partially a Big Shot talent. D. Warner went on to say, I wish I could say more than that, but we have to keep some secrets. And Nuclear Option currently increases self-destruction's detonation timer by 3 seconds, and the detonation damage is increased by 70%. So this is the one that causes the detonation to take a lot longer. This, however, is no longer going to be level 7. We don't know what level it's going to, unless this is the new level 20. I don't know. But it's been completely redesigned and is going to have some sort of Big Shot alteration included.
Interesting.
Very interesting, isn't it?
Huh. I mean, I would love Nuclear Option to become a 20 because that sudden change in pacing at 7 is kind of tough to deal with. But wait, is he sneakily saying that you're going to be able to shoot your mech and therefore charge it up or something like that with your Big Shot?
Maybe.
Is that a way to interpret that? That'd be really cool.
No, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, for perspective and getting your team out and in, and if Diva was like empowering it by shooting it more.
No, see, here's the problem. I assume you're always not crazy, and so I respect everything that comes out of your mouth. But no, in this case, you're totally crazy. I had to think about it for a second. You're totally off your rocker. There's no way that's going to be the case. And I will gladly recant all of this when it turns out that you're absolutely right. Diva's going to be able to damage her own damn mech and get a cooldown reduction as a result of it.
I mean, it would be ugly, but tactically, if you could shoot your own mech and push it around a little bit, it'd be amazing.
I'll do one better. If you could shoot it and make it explode faster, that would be super cool. But
or if you could just pool shoot it like boom, and then it goes and goes in a straight line like it was boosted.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
We've done enough theory crafting for total BS. That's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to continue on.
Okay. This episode's full of that. So we'll move on.
The second point that was brought up by the Reddit poster, I'm just going to refer to them as Morph at this point, was number 2, hope the team can keep the rushdown talent as it was fun to use and skillful to use without hitting anything so as to get the cooldown reduction. Rushdown, if you don't remember, is a talent that if Diva neither takes nor deals damage during boosters, its cooldown is lowered by 7 seconds, and boosters is a 9-second cooldown, so that's a super short cooldown. So the Rushdown talent will still exist after the rework, but its functionality is going to be completely different. They're also changing Diva's mech to no longer move at reduced speed unless it is actively attacking or channeling ability. So moving around the map is going to be less painful in general, as far this is D. Warner's wording. That's a big thing.
Okay, so there you go. So there's we'll help you out with Rushdown, but you might be seduced to take something else instead, since you won't be using Rushdown for every maneuver to get into lane.
Yeah, well, D. Warner also said that Rushdown talent, it's still going to be there in name, but its functionality is completely different. Quote, completely different. So cool, I think what D. Warner here is doing is kind of padding it with saying, I know this is something you're excited about, but it's also not going to be as necessary because you're going to be able to move at a way faster pace when you're not attacking or channeling.
Okay.
Quote,
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. And then on the subject of booster talents, D. Warner said, quote, the various booster talents, old and new, are also spread out across the talent tree rather than being stacked up at level 1. So the relative power and context of casting boosters has changed significantly in regards to the upcoming rework. Yeah. Because right now they're all in a row at level 1. Choose your booster talent. Finally, on this subject, quote, there's a new Q talent at level 13 that has a similar cooldown reduction mechanic to the existing functionality, but that's only half of the talent's benefit. Again, need to keep some secrets.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, all this is really exciting. I'm particularly excited about this last little bit here, that Torpedo Dash might be a part of the final pilot kit, because that is just a damn fun talent.
It won't be.
No?
No,
I thought they're trying.
It's not going away, but so the poster was hoping that
that they could pull it off.
That they could get a weaker version of Pilot Dash or Torpedo Dash in her baseline kit. And D. Warner replied saying this was actually, well, not the first, but one of the first things that the team experimented with. They were also
it's damn fun.
Yes, it is damn fun. They were equally passionate about this. Quote, we wanted to make pilot form a bit more enjoyable to play without talents and chase the idea of making Diva a Vala-light experience. And that's so exciting to read, and I want thank you for mentioning it. That's super cool. I like getting this peek behind the curtain. Unfortunately, it was followed up with, this made Diva too hard to kill.
Yeah.
They see Diva currently one of the more difficult heroes to kill off, to finish off, because of her 2 health bar mechanic. And that baking in Torpedo Dash, even at a tuned down version, just set her up over the top, in their opinion, that it was just too hard to finish off a Diva with this. So they decided to not go that route. D. Warner's wording makes it sound like there was a bit of almost like a push and pull. Like we were either going to get baked in Big Shot or baked in Torpedo Dash, and that Big Shot just worked out better.
I mean, there's room for it. Like, if they're moving around talents, Diva might have... So she'll have an R in her pilot just from the beginning, perhaps, because the other micro missiles would be a robot heroic, which
maybe
now you choose between bunny hop and micro missiles.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue like what button it's mapped to is kind of irrelevant, but maybe it's an R. Who knows?
That's true. You could have the pilot roll on D and stuff. I'm just curious that there's room for it, but I agree 100%. You make, hey, we made Vala. She also has a robot she calls down. By the way, enjoy yourself.
She has 2 health bars, pretty much 24/7. Very hard to kill, and now she's harder to kill. So have fun, everybody.
Okay, all right.
I'm personally, like, as exciting as that wording is, like, we were chasing Vala Light, like, that's awesome. I want to play Diva. Oh my god! But then thinking about having to play against it, I think I'm happy they caught this before pushing it to us.
And something they've been talking about is making Diva a bruiser, of course, but also able to handle the solo lane, which is a fascinating idea. And I really like that juggle that would happen there. Like, think of Malthael. Malthael you can counter in lane with Raynor, Greymane, things that can outpace him, kite him, and avoid the Shroud. So you'd lose in mech form, but maybe you win in pilot form. That's a dynamic bit of gameplay. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. I'd like to address this, and not just because I disagree with how important it is, but Yadin in the chat room says 2 health bars on Diva, but each are worth half hero death. People sometimes forget that just because she doesn't get a death time or losing a mech enemy team does get half a hero death in XP, which is it's something, but I really do think it's more negligible than it's ever been. With the way that XP works now, unless you're behind.
Yeah, the easy answer is you trade that half death for a building, or even 2 deaths Murky and he gets a building. Like, who cares?
Right.
It's something to consider.
Like a Misha death, it's just not that important. If there's still a body on the field that gets to continue interacting in the fight, in my opinion. The second Diva death, I think, is so much more important than the first. You just remove her from play. But
man, with the pilot being so cool, I kind of wonder. Here's an interesting scenario. Cursed Hollow, you would want a pilot because of its DPS and a piercing shot as well to do merc camps. Go get us a giant camp. But you can't get out of your mech unless someone destroys it. So you barrel down the middle, get your mech killed, and then you go off and do a merc camp at 50 seconds.
yeah, I mean, dude, you remember when Diva first came out? Like, we had that realization very early on that, like, pilot mode put out a lot of DPS.
Yeah.
And it was, I spent, like, the first 3 weeks of Diva release intentionally going to pilot mode and staying there as long as I could until it was time, like, where there was a utility reason to be a mech. And it was fun as hell. I loved it. And when we finally kind of moved away from that, I moved away from Diva.
Interesting.
But that's a personal thing for me. So the idea of a more pilot forward Diva coming back into the spotlight excites me a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, lots more here. We kind of hit the main highlights. We've got a link to the post in full in the show notes. Head on over to amove.tv/ITN. Look for the episode 285 post. Our show notes are always a Google Docs link at the very end of that post. We put them up every single week. So if you want to find any of the sources, builds, anything we talk about on the show, they're always linked in the show notes. Last news topic today is one that's a little, it's a little sad to hear, but Oscar Vega has left Blizzard Entertainment, not just the Heroes team, but Blizzard as a whole. He's, if you're unfamiliar with Oscar, he's an amazing concept artist and responsible for a lot of the really awesome Heroes art, like when a hero releases, that we see come out of Heroes of the Storm. Personally, for me, I know Oscar is the man responsible for the sexiest white mane ever painted, and that is an accomplishment. There, I've outed myself. I have a thing for white mane.
No, listen, I've talked about this in the past, but to me, Oscar brought in the waifu, the storm of waifu husbando, if you will, to Heroes of the Storm. And I am somebody who I like a little. If you're going to be killing each other all the time, you might as well be sexy about it, right? Like, why is Sarah Connor, macking out on Kyle Reese when he like kind of kidnapped her, but there's like this whole thing going on, but there's violence all around her.
Going?
The future is terrible.
Where is this
I'm
going?
saying that in an action game where things are constantly dying, you need a little bit of life in there, and sexiness brings it back in. And I really hope someone fills those sexy Oscar shoes and continues to bring us the hot and heavy of Heroes of the Storm.
Oscar put the hot in HOTS.
He did.
I'm sure it wasn't just Oscar, by the way, because Oscar, as far as I know, wasn't a skin artist, was he?
No, he was a concept artist.
Because good lord, Heroes of the Storm, some of the sexiest skins, and it's equal opportunity, man. Lumberjack Uther, those pecs.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's smart idea it was to cut Malfurion's beard so you could see his amazing, just his whole abdomen situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. And bikini stitches. Thank you, Rothusk, in the chat room. How? Rothusk, I get it now. I get your name. How can we forget bikini stitches? The hottest of all hot skins.
I mean, for me, the introduction of Oscar came around the Suns Out Guns Out event. I'm looking at his art station right now, and he's directly responsible for like the concept art for the Nexomania.
Okay, so never mind. Is the mind behind?
Yeah, he
quite
is
a
the
few
Suns Out
skins.
Guns Out shirtless Tychus.
Okay,
Tychus
yeah, never mind.
Concept artist.
Oh yeah, look, all the Nexomania skins. Okay, yeah. Oscar had definitely putting the hot in HOTS.
The smugness, the personality of Urel that I really fell for. Orphea, that concept art led to Orphea being the way she is. He influenced with his art so much of the team, and I'm really hoping those shoes can be filled. As it is, though, we do have a comment on the Reddit thread from Kennebrew again, saying that, as we heard from KO before, these roles do get filled back in. These are high-profile people that you've come to love, but the team is going to reinvigorate itself with new talent. And that's really exciting, too, because if I were a concept artist You know, Hearthstone's all right. Sorry, Garrett. Hearthstone's all right, you know? But you got to be, like, in the style. You got to be in the, you know, the PG, the kind of, you know, kids play, whatever. Like, now you're unleashed. Now that, like, yeah, we don't have to. No, you put that face away because we don't have to cover up Jano over here in Heroes of the Storm Teen Land, you know, T for teen, as it were. She can have a dress cut up to the buttocks.
I don't think Jada does. I think
no, she does. She has the lunar event.
That's a front slit, sir. That's a cut up to the hip, not a cut up to the buttocks.
Wait. Oh, yes. I'm talking about like the side, but the part of the butt you want to, like, you know.
You want to what, Kyle? You want to what?
Yeah, you want to look at like it's the profile that gives the buttocks.
Fair. Okay.
Honestly,
all right.
like,
Gotcha. I get you. I'm following.
Those people that are like, oh man, like Tyrande, no one's like spinning her straight to the back. You spin her to the side, you know? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm getting at.
Learning all kinds of new things about what you do while you're waiting in queue, Kyle.
Well, what I actually try to do is you grab the edge of like a gun or a wing and try to get two heroes to spin
That's
at
exactly
once.
what I do. Yes, you're absolutely right.
That's the real game.
And
the real game.
The total game. Have you done hard mode?
3.
Hard mode is like Rainer's gun. You know, it goes off to, if you're looking at your screen to the right, it's Rainer's left. You spin him all the way to the other side, so his gun is protruding onto if you're looking at your screen, left side hero, and you try to double click fast enough that you click through his gun before he snaps back, and you can grab two heroes on the left side.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah,
this is why
that's
rank
hard
Q
mode
sucks.
waiting for Heroes of the Storm.
Everyone knows this is why rank Q sucks, because you cannot grab guns. You cannot go for the threefer. You know, when you got like the meat, the hook of the stitches, which is going across the Jaina, which is going across the butcher axe, and you get a threefer. You know, that's big money time right there.
That's just, where's the brain? That brain meme where it's lighting up?
Yeah, exploding, and all the chakras are lit up, and
exactly.
it's nuts.
Yeah,
it's
that's
nuts
maximum chakra. Yep. So Kyle hit the nail on the head. We don't want to draft because we can't perv out on sexy Uther skins.
Exactly. So, you know, I think there's a lot of freedom on the Heroes team for developers, and I hope when they fill the sexy shoes of Oscar, that they're able to fill them out with their own massive feet.
Dude, Heroes of the Storm has been sexy since day one. I'm
That's
not
true.
worried. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Also, like, this went down a very like sexy focused journey. Like, Oscar's art is just dope. Like, dude is just a killer artist. I'm really excited to see what Oscar goes off to do next. One of my more favorite Twitter follows. Love seeing his art. So we'll see what happens. So best of luck to him. And also definitely go read Keenan Booth's comment about how, you know, not everyone is forward facing. Just because we're losing Oscar doesn't mean there's not equally as badass folks still holding down the hero's home. So, anyways, dude, before we get to an email or two and wrap this episode up, I want to thank everyone who's supporting us. We've got supporters, Kyle. Did you know that this show is free, will always be free, but if you wanted to, you can support it with $1, $2, $50 if you want to, you know, get really generous?
I did, but tell me more.
Well, it's Patreon. It's an opt-in way to support Into the Nexus, what we're doing here. You go to patreon.com/ITN and you decide to subscribe. Like, we're podcasters, and I feel like, you know, a decent amount of listeners out there, they're probably like podcast nerds. Maybe they're podcasters themselves. The thing most podcasters have said to themselves at one point in their mind when they're daydreaming about a perfect world for podcasting is, man, look at all these downloads we got. If I got like 99 cents, if I got $1 an episode from everyone that listens, whew, could retire. This would be the only thing I'd have to do. I'd be good. I'd be set. And Patreon lets us do that. You know, it's not a paywall. It's totally opt-in. And there's a lot of you. There's hundreds of you over there supporting us right now. We really appreciate it. So if you're supporting us over at patreon.com/ITN, thank you so very much. And to some of our more recent patrons, we'd like to thank, I'm going to go with Jesus, last initials BV. Thank you to R. Yes, someone just the letter R signed up and supported us. No other identifying information was given.
That's pretty badass.
And following R was Ryan S. Thank you very much for the support, everybody. We really do appreciate it. And Kyle, we're getting ever ever closer to bringing Weak Sauce back on a monthly basis. There's also like an even further out goal that would bring Weak Sauce back weekly. But that is the show where you and I get to talk about anything except Heroes of the Storm. So like you liked our little rant at the top of the show about how I'm not excited for Warcraft 3 anymore because Classic is here and cool. I'm just playing that and enjoying and having a good time. Would you like us to talk about that for like 30 minutes? And then also get into other weird random conversations about movies and TV and anime we've been watching? I've started watching Dragon Ball Super, Kyle. I'd like you to start watching Dragon Ball Super and then I'd like to talk to you about it. And so if we hit our next goal, we will start doing that again. So check it out. Patreon.com/ITN. And now, let's take an email or two.
Darkness stopped calling.
Darkness just texted me.
It's not the Mmr, it's the Hero Brawler!
I'm muted. Haven't heard that one in a while. Siri HS, it's one more thing on the Patreon. But yeah, the patron Discord is very active. Lots of awesome folk in there getting together, playing games. And not just Heroes all the time. Sometimes you just make friends and you play with them in all kinds of games. Speaking of the patron Discord, you can skip the inbox entirely. Send us messages there for the show. If you are not a patron, you can also email us at itncast@gmail.com. Jordan writes in this week and says, my simple answer to toxicity is to have a specific report category for it. The more reports you get for this, the more your toxicity score goes up. With the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Oh, you went there. Nice.
Yeah.
Someone had to. Someone out there was about to. So you saved them the trouble.
Yep. The higher your toxicity score is, the more likely you are to play with others who are toxic. Also, the more toxic you are, the less your toxicity vote is worth. Your score naturally drops over games played, so you don't just stay in Toxicville. This way, toxic players can shout at each other all they want, and the nice boys and girls get to play together. This can be added with the compliment system that was brought up. Yes, as long as there's some kind of monitoring, because you could still just report people for being toxic just because you're a jerk.
Right.
It could potentially...
But that's why you're a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe you're not a jerk that's outwardly toxic, so you yourself haven't been being... It could be gamed, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like, could we still have someone look at the chat logs, see if they're actually being toxic?
Yeah, you're a quiet jerk. You still, go through and report everybody that upset you, but you don't exactly bring the attention on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, I really like this idea.
I like it, too.
And I
would like to see that in the profile.
Yeah, not just because it makes me think of really absurd Britney Spears music videos that I haven't thought of for over a decade.
It's like you're a star, you got a little star icon, and that star slowly goes dim and just descends into the trash can as you get worse and worse, and eventually check it out, and it's a real messy trash can.
I think it should the star should just look more and more toxic. Eventually it just looks like the clones or the copies in that episode of Rick and Morty where they remove all of their toxicity, but that toxicity becomes manifested versions of their own ire.
Yeah. I mean, we do have abusive text chat, abusive voice chat, but we do need advancements. It's 2019.
Yes. That would be nice. Wes Words writes in and says, I'd like to offer a thought on Heroes is monetization plan? I don't know. Specifically, something about Heroes monetization. Specifically when it comes to purchasing heroes. I'm not really a, quote, buy every hero no matter what kind of player, and I don't have a lot of gold generally. My suggestion would be to open every hero to level 3, then offer a purchase option if you want to continue. That would give you about 4 games or so to decide if you like the feel and kit of the character. I know they have the free rotation and try mode, but I would be more inclined to spend my hard-won gold or maybe even real dollars if I could play every hero in a few live games and get a feel for them. Thoughts? Dude, I am with you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put this in the game now. This is wonderful because
that's Battle Pass.
You want to pay for this?
No. I'm saying this is it's a Heroes Pass. You are saying that I would like to elect to continue progressing this hero for no real reason at all, except for maybe you'll put some skins and boxes and stuff in there as I level, which you get, at least in terms of boxes right now. We know a hero level rework's coming at some point, but I love it. All the heroes, enjoy them. You'll get in, the weird part would be being ranked play and everyone has an account has nothing but level 3 across the board, and you'd be like, oh man, are they good?
Yeah. It's not, I mean, try is fine. I'm glad the try mode is there. It would be a real problem if it wasn't. But playing against real people or even AI, like on an actual battleground with objectives and everything, it is so different. Try mode, it doesn't go far enough in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
gotta fight those real people. Exactly.
I don't see. I've got nothing against this. I love this idea. I would really like to see it implemented. So if any Heroes devs are listening, is this hard to do?
Do it.
Could we make it happen? Please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, StarCraft Call Commanders basically does this too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You have everything for free, and if you want to advance, I mean, that's like power behind the wall though. So it's a bit different because like you can only get to that level, and then you don't get those upgrades. But I'm down.
I am down as well.
Even lock me out of skins and mounts. Like, just like, if I want to decorate this player, I have to own it.
All right. Our next email or question comes to us from Yelly, who asks simply, what do you do when nothing works in Storm League?
I get the heck out of there.
I do get the heck out of there. Yeah. For myself, I always look inward. I try to anyway. I don't always look inward. That's a lie. Go back to the beginning of any league season where I go, everyone's an idiot and they've been gone for months. I'm out. I'm out for 2 weeks until the idiots leave. Not actually how I feel. It's just that's my toxic side. That's my toxic side, Kyle, coming out into the world, which you should always try and keep in check. But yeah, most of the time, especially, if I'm not noticing a pattern in my outward anger, like I was 2 weeks ago, I was just like, wow, I just keep getting really bad Garrosh just tanking for us, and it seems to just be rotten, and I don't know how to deal with it. I need to take a break. When I move past that, which is most of the times that I need to take a break, is because of me, because my heroes are old and moldy, or they've been nerfed, or the meta has just shifted in a way that I didn't expect, and the way that I play and the heroes that I know how to play no longer fit well into this puzzle. I'm trying to, square peg into round hole this damn Storm League, and it's time to carve a new shape.
Well, and if you play a methodic mage or particularly a melee anything, tank, bruiser, assassin, you are going to be very susceptible to any balance changes that come through.
Yes, unless you're Jaina.
You could be playing like a champ.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Jaina.
You could just. She's the golden child.
Yes.
Right? Like just weathered every storm, been here, perfectly fine, never really breaking the meters, but.
Well, that's because the cold never bothered her anyway.
Oh, that's a good point. When we had Frozen after Heroes of the Storm, right?
If we had a new Jaina post Frozen, which is
right
why she seems just like Elsa.
Wait, 2013. So we did get Frozen before Heroes of the Storm.
Did we? Oh my! Well, Tech Alpha. When was Tech Alpha?
Release date was announced for June 2015.
Tech Alpha began. Technical Alpha. I can't find dates. It's a shame.
June 2nd.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
release.
Like, we still
March 10th, 2014. Yeah. So Frozen was out before Heroes of the Storm Tech Alpha.
Oh. Man.
I mean, not like Frozen is a huge part of my.
It's irrelevant, Kyle.
It is.
The true final form Elsa Jaina is BFA Jaina, and we don't have that skin in Heroes of the Storm.
Right.
So, yeah.
But yes, to Yelly's question, there are times where this strikes me, and it is very frustrating. The really tough thing about it is you need to keep learning in Storm League, and you're not learning any lessons because you're still trying old stuff. So I go play with friends if possible, but there I often play like things I never play anyway, and you're not going to see effective things in quick match. You know what's really worked for me? The fastest cure for Heroes Block, personally, is watching Fan stream on Twitch. He is high octane, not like as a personality. He does a little bit of get wrecked, but it's not like, too yelly and too battle royale for me. It feels mature. But he is always getting away with really random and crazy things in his games. His drafts don't tilt him. He just picks what he wants because his roster's so big. And somewhere in there, you're going to see something cool like, I don't know, Sammy backdooring. And you're going to be like, oh, I can do that. I could do that in my game. And suddenly this new strategy that's working in his games, you apply to your own and you're just doing something fresh. And you're enjoying yourself again. You're solving the puzzle. Yes. And you're that, like a game, like one game a day a fan, and you'll be golden.
Not that I'm trying to sell you on PUBG, because all I'm playing outside of Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm is WoW Classic. I have no time for battle royales in my life right now. But at some point in my life, I would really like to play PUBG with you. And to sell you on it, I would like you to go watch Choco Taco, because he's the calmest battle royale streamer I have ever come across, and I love him to death.
I mean, we've got some games building up, you and I want to play Vermintide with you because that's a great Left 4 Dead. There's a Remnant, is it? Like the root stuff? That looks fun.
Do you know what my dream is, Kyle? You know what my dream is with you? Is to somehow invent the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
Sure.
So that we have this much time in the world. And to co-op every single Halo game in order.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good idea.
I want to do.
I mean, if we had that time chamber, we would also play through like Divinity 2.
Oh, I mean, if we had that time chamber, we would just die in it, because we would have so many D&D campaigns going.
That's
on episode 386 or 286 of Into the Nexus, we would be 98 years old and be screaming about orcs and goblins before we died.
Wait, hang on. They don't age in there, do they?
I mean,
wait, they do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Gohan grew up, right?
That's how it works. Yes.
That's crappy.
That's exactly how it works. You go in there and time passes faster than it does for everyone else outside of the time chamber. That's why Trunks comes out using his torn up denim jacket to tie his hair back into a ponytail, because it's grown so long. Oh, it was like a little strip of it.
Yeah, I'm not. No. I've seen Click. I'm not doing that. With Adam Sandler, Click.
Wow, dude, your references are all over the place today.
You've never seen Click. I mean, it's not great, but you know.
No, that was definitely post I have given up on an Adam Sandler movie ever being good again.
I saw it because of the other guy, Creepy Dad Man.
Christopher Walken?
Yes, that's it.
I remember the trailer.
Okay.
Christopher Walken in a movie with
that
Adam
whole
Sandler.
thing he did, like the mirror, was like half a second. It had very little to do with the plot.
Wonderful.
But yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that we've spent any time at all talking about the movie Click with Adam Sandler.
I'm just saying I'm not going to like pre-age myself and miss out on my family. You know, but Time Stop.
Take them with you.
There you got something.
Yeah. But back to Ellie's question, I would really just work on your roster. And you can make educated decisions, like depending on your hero. There are certainly heroes where it's really hard, if not impossible, to draw lines. But you know, for example, me being Mr. Bruiser Man, it's pretty easy for me to draw lines. You know, like when Sonya was no longer working out, I look at the heroes that are performing well, and I look for, okay, well, who is a good solo laner? Who is a solo laner that can still throw down into team fight? And that's how I landed on Rexxar. Rexxar has worked for a long time now, and that led to Malthael, because who can also clear lanes and show up to a fight and throw down? Malthael is also an answer to that exact same question. And even though the heroes themselves, their kits do differ, they don't play exactly the same. The concept, the meta of your individual meta game, like your let's call it your macro play. Things like reporting to timings on reporting to camps, clearing lanes, getting to objective, all of that stays the same. So there's a big chunk of my learning process with that hero that I don't need to focus on anymore. I just need to focus on mastering their kit. And some movements are harder than others. Malthael, I felt for me was pretty easy. Let's face it, not the most unique, not the most nuanced kit in the world. Hit things, hold down Q. You pretty much got it. Rexxar, that took a while. Controlling two characters, that took a little bit. But think like that. I don't know what heroes you're playing, because your question was so delightfully simply put and to the point. But if you're playing like Abathur, I don't know how to help you. But also, if you're playing
Lisa's got
Abathur,
macro.
yeah, if you're playing Abathur, you're doing so many things at one time, you're probably going to be fine trying any other hero. So go for it. So, anyways, I've been watching a lot of StarCraft again. So excuse me if macro and micro are terminology that I keep wanting to interjecting into conversation.
I've been using it a lot because I'm coaching a lot of Ragnaros, and that's what you're doing. You're making macro plays while then having a micro fight.
Yep, exactly. Damn right. Whew, that's nothing but macro. Anyways, I think that's a good place to wrap it up for this episode. Kyle, what do you think?
I like it.
Wonderful. Folks, again, huge thanks to you if you are supporting us over at patreon.com/ITN. We really do appreciate it. It's what lets us do. I don't know if you know this, Kyle. I don't have like normal jobs. We have home offices where we create content all day. I also have to, do some contract work to keep the lights on. But I wouldn't have to do so much contract work if everyone was as generous as Into the Nexus patrons are. So head on over, patreon.com/ITN. Really appreciate it. And if you like the show, consider supporting us there. Huge thanks to our producers, by the way. Declan H, Cheesy Bob, Chris K, Robert M. Thank you so very much. Other than that, we're usually live Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/AMoveTV. But we do all sorts of other things. Kyle, where can people find you when you're not about to go become a dad?
Sure. Then there will be a break in that content flow. But
Obviously.
You can find it over at kylefergusson.com. But really, I do want to take another hot second here. HOTS second, if you will, to really thank the patrons at patreon.com/ITN. Our resilience to news like Oscar, our dedication to this game, it just wouldn't be the same without you. Your passion for this game fuels our passion to do this show. And it is so unbelievably awesome that there are so many of you that support this show, support the content creation we do, and that leads to other things like the Patreon Bonanza, those videos that make their way onto youtube.com/Kyle Fergusson of that Patreon Bonanza, the coaching, everything else. It flows from you all. And that support is unparalleled. And it's amazing. I don't know another show in the world that is like this one. And I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, you and I were talking about it yesterday, and it's been such a funky year, I think, for us. You and I have tried some new projects. They didn't work, to be honest.
But we don't have to be too cagey about that. It was a little game called Apex.
Yeah. That game, it's okay. It's just, we also were like, we were ready to do an Anthem show, and it turned out that game was not okay. That game was terrible.
Yes. Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah, dude.
I still check in on it from time to time.
Yeah, so we come out of a not so great BlizzCon. We came out of horrible news for Heroes Esports. Then like Blizzard layoffs and all kinds of weirdness happens. And we were legitimately worried about the future of the show. And now it seems insane because you listeners have gone nowhere. Our numbers have been basically the same since BlizzCon last year. Almost no change whatsoever. The Patreon has gone up. We can't thank you enough. Really. Like from the bottom of our hearts. It's crazy. It is so cool. Anytime I tell anyone about Into the Nexus like that are vaguely, Blizzard fans, are like, huh? What? How's it so successful? And the answer is our community is insane. You guys are so awesome. And it's all because of you. That's why we're still here doing this. So thank you very much. Follow Kyle at Kyle Fergusson on Twitter. And dig up his baby registry. I don't know where it is, and send him as many baby gifts as you possibly can. Because I'm so excited for you to become a dad, dude. I can't wait.
I'm excited too.
Folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Into the Nexus. Thank you for letting us get mushy on you there at the end. We'll be back.
Wait, hang on. Hotfix just came in.
What?
Oh, okay. Chen, Rhaegar, Vala bug fixes. Okay.
Oh
no. Wait, hang on.
What?
Oh, okay. All right. It's fine. But those who have listened this far through all that mushiness will receive the very sad note that Rhaegar casting abilities now properly puts Ghost Wolf on cooldown. It was having a near instant cooldown. If you jumped out of it to cast a spell, then you could jump right back in.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw the conversation happen in our Discord about that, and yeah. I didn't want to be a party pooper, but my brain, I was going like, that's totally unintentional. That is definitely not going to stay.
Yeah, that's out. Caltrops has now been fixed, and Chen had his various things that were broken fixed. So no big news.
Yep. Well, all right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Into the Nexus. We'll be back next week. Might be Paradox instead of Kyle. We'll see. But until then, good luck and have fun.
Take care.